So I'm thrilled to be talking this afternoon with Jessica Burnstein. Jessica is from Toronto. She now works in Tel Aviv, but she's back in Canada for a short period of time. And she works for an organization called Gisha. So, Jessica, welcome to our program.
Thanks for having me, Peter.
Jessica, people will wonder, you grew up in Toronto. Would you have a normal growing up experience in Toronto?
I did. I grew up partly in Toronto, partly in Halifax, Nova Scotia, actually. But I did. I would say I had a very normal upbringing. I come from two Jewish parents who grew up in Halifax and then made their way to Toronto in their adult years. And I grew up in actually a fairly multicultural neighborhood in Toronto.
Okay, so now, Jessica, you did your university, I'm guessing, in Canada, and then you headed off subsequently to do some international work. Is that right?
That's right. I studied for a number of years in Canada, and I've been living abroad for about 4.5 years now.
And now you're in Israel.
That's right. That's right.
And you work for Gisha. Maybe you can just remind us what Gisha does as an organization.
Sure. The full name of Gisha is Gisha Legal Center for Freedom of Movement. And it's an Israeli human rights organization that was founded in 2005 with focus on the issue of freedom of movement for Palestinian residents of Gaza primarily. And the founders of the organization decided to establish it just after ahead of the formal disengagement of Israel, when Israel pulled its Jewish settlements and military installations from within Gaza. And I guess at the time they were thinking that there would be a need to really consider the relationship between Israel and Gaza and what Israel's ongoing legal responsibilities would be after it withdrew from Gaza. And also that I think the founders had a sense that instead of fully sort of relinquishing Israel's control over Gaza, that it would rather reconfigure it.
Which turns out to have been the case.
That's right. That's right.
So this Gisha was actually founded before the elections in 2006 and before Israel's, I'll call it, formal blockade of Gaza started. Is that right?
That's right. Long before the blockade even was implemented in 2007, there were a number of restrictions and essentially a form of what we at Gisha refer to as the closure rather than the blockade. And a number of measures have been in place actually since the 90s, even since the early 90s.
So your focus is on the movement of persons rather than goods. Is that correct, or do you deal with both?
Actually, until recently, that was true. That Gisha's focus was mainly on the movement of people in and out of the Gaza Strip. But in the last few years, we've also started working increasingly on the movement of goods, as the economic situation and humanitarian situation in Gaza have worsened. We also felt that was an important area to focus on as it relates to economic activity in the Strip.
Maybe just back on Gisha's work, what do you actually do? Is it mostly education? You don't actually take people in and out of Gaza or take goods in and out? What do you do exactly?
So the heart of Gisha's programming is really its legal assistance and was since the beginning. We have a legal department that provides direct legal assistance to individuals wishing to travel in and out of Gaza, and also traders who are wishing to move goods in and out. We assist over 1,000 individuals a year who are wishing to travel. These are individuals who are wishing to visit family in the West Bank or abroad, or to study abroad, or to travel for professional or economic reasons, to have business meetings, and any of the sort of normal reasons that any of us would wish to travel in and out of the area that we reside. Yeah. Alongside the legal assistance that we provide, we do a lot of public and international advocacy work with the goal of trying to affect policy change. And we use, sort of all manner of tools and activities that an organization really could use to do that. Of course, media work is a part of that, meetings, direct lobbying and engagement. We also do a lot of research and monitoring of the situation in Gaza.
Who funds Gisha? Do you get a lot of money from the Israeli government, for example?
We don't receive any money from the Israeli government. We receive money from a variety of donors, large and small. A number of them are European governments and other sort of European or international foundations, funds, institutions. Yeah, really, but the majority are in Europe, actually, and some in North America. And then we have some private donors as well. So a variety, much like I think many other nonprofit organizations.
Yeah. As a Canadian, are you interested trying to get some Canadian? Is there already some Canadian support for Gisha from Canadian government, for example, CEDA or elsewhere?
It's a good question. Actually, we don't have direct CEDA funding or anything like that. We do work with a Canadian part of Oxfam Global Affairs Canada. Oxfam is, and so to that, in that sense, we do. But I think I may be the first Canadian to work at Gisha. So maybe now that I'm there, we will start to try to get some more funding.
Well, Jessica, I'm sure I'm speak on behalf of many of the viewers of Agenda Talks Israel Palestine. We'd be very happy if you were successful in that endeavor. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Jessica, thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with me. On the website, the link to your organization. So if any individuals want to accept individual donations as well as corporate or organizational donations?
Yes, of course we do. Yeah.
All right. So if there's any terribly rich Canadians out there watching this program, the email will be there, and I'm sure Jessica will be happy to cash your check. Jessica, thank you so much for talking to me, and good luck to you in your future endeavors.
Thanks, Peter. All the best to you too.